Look down at what you're wearing right now. Now imagine standing up, walking outside, and taking every piece of it off in front of a crowd of strangers. Your stomach just dropped, didn't it? That reaction is not natural. You were not born feeling that. No human on Earth is born ashamed of their own skin. So at some point, something rewired your brain to feel that way. And when scientists finally traced where that feeling came from, they didn't find it in a museum, a temple, or an ancient scroll. They found it crawling inside human hair. For most of human history, you didn't exist the way you do now. Go back far enough and every single one of your ancestors was walking around completely naked. No fur, no fabric, nothing. And somehow, they survived like that for hundreds of thousands of years. So the real mystery isn't why cavemen wore fur coats in movies. It's why, after all that time, humans suddenly decided to cover up. The clue that finally cracked it came from something almost nobody would think to study: lice. Head lice and body lice are nearly identical species, with one huge difference. Body lice can only survive inside clothing. No clothes, no body lice. Period. In 2011, a team at the University of Florida, led by biologist David Reed, used that fact like a biological clock. They sequenced the DNA of both species to calculate exactly when they split apart into two. And the number they landed on was staggering: around 170,000 years ago. That means humans lived naked for almost 1,000,000 years. And then, in a relatively short window, everything changed. So why then? The timing lines up almost perfectly with the end of an ice age. Reed's research points to a sharp drop in temperature that early humans in Africa had to survive, and clothing was the technology that let them do it. Roughly 70,000 years later, humans began migrating out of Africa into colder regions of the world, regions their naked bodies never could have survived. Clothing isn't just something you put on in the morning. It's the reason your ancestors were able to leave Africa at all. But here's the part almost nobody expects. Around 75,000 years ago, archaeologists digging in Blombos Cave in South Africa found something strange lying next to a pile of ordinary stone tools: tiny seashells, each one deliberately pierced with a hole, each one coated in red ochre pigment. They weren't used for warmth. They weren't used for protection. They were strung together and worn as jewelry. Which means almost the moment clothing became possible, humans used the exact same invention for something completely different: to say something about themselves. And that's the twist. What started as pure survival, a shield against the cold, quietly turned into the oldest form of communication our species has ever used. Every outfit you've ever put on, every color you chose, every brand you avoided, all of it traces back to two instincts wired into you over 100,000 years ago: stay alive and be seen. So the next time you get dressed, you're not just getting ready for your day. You're repeating an act your ancestors were already performing before writing existed, before farming existed, before almost anything you'd call civilization. Which leaves one real question: not why humans started wearing clothes, but what your clothes are quietly saying about you right now, before you've said a single word.